Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and we're going to take another look at the Haiboxing Protector. Now, the Haiboxing Protector is a good entry-level fun RC. I did a run with it and it was not bad. It was actually pretty fun. For just under $100, this RC is actually pretty good. I mean, it's got some nice features like the LED headlights. It's got a flip open cage here, which is really cool. Yeah, so it's easy to maintain. It's also got a nice, easy to use battery compartment right there. And it comes with 2 sets of batteries and a charger as well. But the Haiboxing Protector definitely is one of the more fun entry-level RC out there. I think it's like perfect for kids who are starting out in RC and kind of getting them used to an RC car. Definitely it's light, so you're not worried too much about, I guess, braking too much. It's got enough power to be pretty good fun, but at the same time not enough to where you're going to be getting constant breakage. So this is definitely a good starter vehicle for kids. So out of the box, there are some things about this Haiboxing Protector as an enthusiast where you would like to upgrade. So one of the things that we noticed about the Haiboxing Protector are that it uses friction shocks. So these are not oil-filled shocks, they're friction shocks. And it's understandable. This is an entry-level RC, and this is, you know, what most entry-level RCs come with. The friction shocks right there. The other thing that we noticed was that the drive shafts, I don't know if you can see it here, but this drive shaft right here is plastic, as well as the front. I mean, the front actually uses CVD cups or universal axles, but the shaft is plastic. But that, you know, the shafts being plastic is not really an issue. It's tough enough to withstand the power that is actually in this protector. So it's actually okay. Now, one thing that I would like to change is you'll see that it uses a Phillips screw to attach the wheels on. So the bolts that are used to attach the wheels are using Phillips screws. So let's go ahead and take that apart, and so we can take a look. So these are the screws used to attach the wheels. And you can see here that it's got some sort of hex system. Try to get that out here. It's got some sort of hex, locking system. See, there's like a cross there, and this hex has like a cross here. And that's basically how it moves the tires. So that's the way it works. I don't know if you can see here, but the universal axles are plastic through and through. Right there. But the thing that bugged me the most were the way that these attach to the wheels. So, knowing that the 2 things that I wanted to change were the way the wheels attached and the shocks, after doing a little research, I found that there actually are a few upgrades for this Haiboxing Protector. Now, one of the things that they have as an upgrade are oil-filled shocks. So, I'll be trying these out, and I will put a link to these in the description below. Here is the part number. And I also found that they had some shaft upgrades. So it looks like the shaft still is plastic, but the actual the end here is full metal. And you'll see that it uses nuts instead of those screws. So let's see how that works out. This is the rear shaft, same thing. The axle shaft is still plastic, but it's got the metal cups right there and nuts. So this is the part number for the rear. Now put a link to this in the description below. And this is the part number for the front. Now I'll also put a link to this in the description below. So let's go ahead and take a look at upgrading this Haiboxing Protector. Notice that the protector actually does come with bearings. And I'm actually going to go ahead and move this front panel and the bumper as well, because we do have to replace these shocks, and it's easier to get to them removing these two things here. So theoretically, you should be able to pop these arms off of the knuckle here, but I don't want to risk stretching this out or breaking it. So I'm actually going to remove this whole front bumper piece and remove this arm by the hinge here instead to get this shaft out. Here we go. And that should allow me to get the shaft off. Let's see, here's the inner bearing. Just put that back into the knuckle. So let's just do a comparison between the two. This is the old shaft right here, and basically this is sort of like a hex system on here. This one actually does use a hex as well, but you put a pin through here and then the hex will go over here. So this one uses a pin, this one uses this molded cross right there. And I'll show you the pin right here. So the idea is the pin goes through like that, and you reuse the existing hex and just put it on like that. Whereas the old one, it has that molded cross. You can see the hex has a cross shape inside, and it just goes on like that. But here is the difference between the two shafts. The actual shaft itself feels almost similar. I wonder if this one's, no, it's the same. Just the cup portion is a little bit more. It's metal instead of plastic. All right, let's go ahead and put this new shaft in. remove the other side as well. So after this shaft replacement, you will no longer need these. Old one, new one. Put the hinge pin back. And let's get that skid back on here. Now when you're putting the skid back on, make sure that you use the shorter conical screw towards the center of the body. And the longer conical screw towards the front of the body, or else this screw is going to go through your front diff, which you don't want. Let me show you what I'm talking about right here. So the front screw is longer because it comes out over here. Don't use the longer screw in the back here because that's going to go right into the diff housing. Alright, so while we're at this, we might as well change the front shocks as well. So the new shocks do come with screws and metal balls or standoffs. They do feel like they have oil in them. I'm not going to check right now. I will check later. I'm sure you don't want to watch me switching oil, but it does feel like there's oil in them. And you can always go back and change the oil. Here's the difference between the stock shock and the upgraded oil shocks. Here's one thing I noticed between the upgraded shaft and the stock shaft. Look how much more angle that this shaft can get versus this one. This one can't bend any further than this angle right here. This upgraded shaft can go to a complete 90-degree angle. Now that doesn't mean that you're going to get more steering angle on the car itself, on the buggy. Of course, there's some limitations with the knuckle and the C-hub to see how far that can go. But as far as the shafts are concerned, this thing has the ability to go at a bigger degree of angle than the stock shaft does. If you're ever going to work on RC shocks, you should get yourself one of these ProTech RC shock bars. They really make things much easier. I'll put a link to this in the description below. Now the screws in the shock kit are longer than the stock screws, and that's probably because of the standoffs or shock ball ends. You'll see the difference. It's the old one, this is the new one. So you can see already that the shock motion is slower than it was before, so you can tell that the damping is actually working. Alright, got the bumper skid back on and the front shocks on, as well as the upgraded drive shafts. Let's go ahead and put the front wheels back on. Alright, with the front back together, let's go ahead and move on to the rear. Once again, we'll go ahead and just move the skid and remove it from the hinges here. Careful that you don't lose this shim. And here are the differences between the old shaft and the new one. Old, new. On the other side. Alright, now let's go ahead and take care of the rear shocks. Alright, so the rear oil-filled shocks are installed, as well as the rear drive shafts with the new metal cup. And everything should be a lot sturdier than it was. This completes the Haiboxing Protector upgrades. With the new shocks installed, you could see that it has a bit more dampening. You know, it's not as springy as it was with the friction shocks. So, should soak up some bumps a little bit better. And you can see that the wheels are attached with M4 nuts now, and so that should be a lot easier to maintain and take care of as well, because it should be similar to all the other RCs. And the metal drive cups should actually help the durability as well. So really excited to get this out for a run again and see what else it can do. Another nice thing about this Haiboxing Protector is that it comes with 2 pairs of batteries and a charger. But the nice thing is that it actually comes labeled as pairs. So if you see here, this one's labeled as pair A, and these are labeled as pair B. So you never, you would never kind of mix these up, because you would know that these 2 were charged together and these 2 were charged together. So it's good to kind of know which pairs you're working with. And once again, the protector does have a nice hinge design that allows you to easily open it up. And you just put the batteries in like so. And with that, you're basically good to go. And the next thing to do is to just take it out and give it a run. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell for future updates.